The basic fable runs. I like this fable a lot. A pig and a chicken are walking down the road. The chicken says, "Hey pig, I was thinking we should open a restaurant." Pig replies, maybe. What would you call it?" The chicken responds, "How about ham and eggs?" The pig thinks for a moment and says, "No thanks, I'd be committed but you'd only be involved." Sometimes the story is presented as a riddle. In a bacon and egg breakfast, what's the difference between the chicken and the pig? The chicken is involved, but the pig is committed. A pig is someone who has skin in the game. A chicken is someone who has something to gain by the pig's performing, but in the end, really do not contribute day to day to getting things done. You cannot be a pig and a chicken at the same time, and even though it is not recommended. This is something I work with middle managers who struggle with this on a daily basis. The concept takes coaching and constant reminders that they cannot be a pig and chicken. Okay, let's see just a short overview of the SCRUM roles. The product owner manages the product and return on investment. The Scrum Master manages the process. The team manages itself. Scrum teams are self-organizing and cross-functional. There is no project manager role in the Scrum. The responsibilities of the traditional project manager are divided over the 3 roles in the Scrum team. This is challenging to individuals who currently fulfill this role and to managers in organizations in which they work. Self-organizing teams choose how best to accomplish their work rather than being directed by others outside the team. Cross-functional teams have all competencies needed to accomplish the work without depending on others not part of the team. The team model in Scrum is designed to optimize flexibility, creativity, and productivity. Who bring profitability? A CEO in a company. On a project in Scrum process is a product owner. Also works on a shared, manage, accept priorities, and bring profitability to the project. Also have some additional roles. Communicates the project status and represents the work of the agile team to key stakeholders. Develops strategy and direction for the project and set the goals for short and long term. Directs the product's budget and profitability. Answer questions and make decisions with the development team. The product owner may do the above work or have the development team to do it. However, the product owner remains accountable. The product owner is one person, not a committee. The product owner may represent the desires of a committee in the product backlog, but those wanting to change a backlog item's priority must convince the product owner. For the product owner to succeed, the entire organization must respect his or her decisions. The product owner's decisions are visible in the content and ordering of the product backlog. No one is allowed to tell the development team to work from a different set of requirements, and the development team isn't allowed to act on what anyone else says. Product owner is an intermediate level between development team and the customer. He can never be the Scrum Master in many environments. He is a project manager or even a team member which is less involved in coding part. It's all about knowing your people, their skills, and what they are better suitable for. The key term in this slide is done. Mutual agreement between product owner and the team. It may mean a thing works in a way with a known bug which is accepted by both sides. Later you will see details on the idea of definition of done. The product owner needs to take responsibility for the priority. All the items have their own priority, and it is important that you get the most value for the least cost. It is all about understanding all the requirements. This is to understand how important an item is, the difficulty of each item, the dependency between items. The product owner needs to be able to explain the needs and requirements to the developer and must be able to give answers to their questions about details. This doesn't mean that they need to know everything, but a good product owner knows who knows. The product owner needs to be able to make decisions on the spot if this is necessary, and the product owner needs to take responsibility for those decisions. Like we discussed before, the product owner is the CEO of the project, of the process of the Scrum framework. The product owner should also give some emotions to team to make them want to build the stuff. The product owner should not prioritize the things he likes or which he can benefit from. A product owner must look at the whole picture and all stakeholders and be able to know which brings the most business value to the product. If you are going to act as a product owner, prepare to be involved in conflicts. There is a good chance you'll be in the middle of lots of conflicts. Also, the product owner must avoid skipping Scrum meetings and always keeps the newest image of team statistics in order to give customer the most accurate predictions. The Scrum Master is a bulldozer, but also a facilitator, coach, and mentor. This is a metaphor about Scrum Master role, but is responsible for ensuring that Scrum is understood and applied in the Scrum team regarding theory, practices, and rules. Is a servant leader for the Scrum team. He will talk with the other part of organization that will have interactions with the Scrum team and will say this is helpful, this is not helpful for the Scrum team. But of course, in an organization you can meet regarding the strategy implementation, you can see a mixing roles for Scrum Master and Product Owner. If you view these roles as roles, then they can be combined, but it's not for all to combine roles. A person who combines roles needs to be able to make clear when he is playing a certain role so that everyone else knows if it's the Product Owner or is the Scrum Master who is talking. There is also a risk when you combine the Product Owner role and the Scrum Master role. You get a project manager who takes all responsibility and both thing and is perceived as the boss. It is clearly that exists an interaction between these two important roles, Product Owner and the Scrum Master. But the best Product Owner and the best Scrum Master work for the same objectives, to enable the team to deliver the most business value to the product. But the tools used are not the same. The Product Owner represents the customer and makes sure that the team can get a feeling for what the users need. To achieve this, the Product Owner keeps a product backlog and participates in daily work to be able to answer questions to the customer. The Scrum Master on his hand makes sure that the contract is kept. He is the speaking partner for the team, but also keeps an eye on the progress so that the product increment really becomes delivered. In the best implementation of Scrum, the Product Owner and the Scrum Master have a big trust in each other. The Scrum Master does not have to worry about the Product Owner having made his priorities or being part of the daily work. The Product Owner does not have to worry about the team doing the right stuff or that impediments are not handled. But the trust must also be in the other's decision and recommendation. If the Scrum Master tells the Product Owner that a bug cannot be fixed during the sprint, the Scrum Master must be trustworthy in that recommendation and the Product Owner must respect that statement. In the previous slide, you saw the relations between Scrum Master and the development team, but also you need to remember which are the characteristics of a team member. Not every team member has every single skill, at least not yet, but they have a subset of them and strive to gain more skills over time. Team members identify, estimate, and perform tasks and track their completion status. Scrum Master is the term for project manager, or is the Scrum Master the most senior developer? The Scrum Master is not the team member who does the most work. It's the person who can inspire everyone to do the right job. It's the person who can communicate to both team members and stakeholders, as with the Product Owner the communicative skills are crucial. If you think people are doing the wrong stuff or stuff wrong, bring it up with the Product Owner. The Scrum Master should also be the kind of person who has a good feeling for how the status is, without having to look at dashboards and backlogs. He should be able to know how things are going. The Scrum Master needs also to be a person who can say yes and no. He is accountable for this, he is responsible for this. A Scrum Master should not see this role as full-time. The best implemented Scrum needs the least of its Scrum Master. This means that the Scrum Master will probably have to put in a lot of work in the beginning of the Scrum project, but this should be a task with declining size. A maximum of 1 hour a day should be spent and most of the time should be spent on communicating verbally with the team. The biggest challenge is to influence people to change their mindset. The Scrum team comprises all 3 roles: 1 Product Owner, 1 Scrum Master, and 5 to 9 team members. The development team consists of professionals who do the work of delivering a potentially releasable increment of done product at the end of each sprint. Only members of the development team create the increments. Team members can be developers, testers, architects, and even users. The team is cross-functional, which means that between all its members, they possess sufficient skills to do the work. There is no dictated leadership hierarchy within the team members. Development teams do not contain sub-teams dedicated to particular domains like testing or business analysis. Optimal development team size is small enough to remain nimble and large enough to complete significant work. Fewer than 3 development team members decreases interactions and results in smaller productivity gains. Having more than 9 members requires too much coordination. Typically, the team members is based on 5 to 9 people. Let's talk about self-organizing team. A self-organizing team is one that does what it takes to get things done to meet the goal of a project. Such a team by its very nature requires less management intervention and direction. This practice directly affects flexibility and the team's ability to respond to change. Self-organizing teams also excel at extending a product's lifetime by effectively working together to share knowledge. This practice goes hand in hand with retrospective as a supporting practice that enhances all others by making the teams more productive. If you are unable to select the actual team themselves, at the very least ensure that you are involved in selecting the Scrum Master, as this is such a key role. At the very least, you need someone who is a real leader, proactive, who is technical and is good at project communications. Get this one role wrong and you'll quickly find that your project development is going nowhere. The ability for a team to self-organize around the goals it has been given is fundamental to all Agile methodologies, including Scrum. In fact, the Agile Manifesto includes self-organizing teams as a key principle, saying that the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. As part of deciding how best to achieve the goal given them, some teams will decide that all key technical decisions will be made by one person on the team. Other teams will decide to split the responsibility for technical decisions along technical boundaries. For example, our database expert makes database decisions, and our most experienced Java programmer makes Java decisions. Still, other teams may decide that whoever is working on the features makes the decision but has the responsibility of sharing the results of the decision with the team. There are 2 key points here. First, not every team will choose to organize themselves the same way, and that's okay. Second, making use of the collective wisdom of the team will generally lead to a better way of organizing around the work. However, the benefit of allowing a team to self-organize isn't that the team finds someone optimal organization for its work that the manager may have missed. Rather, it is that by allowing the team to self-organize, it are encouraging to fully own the problem. A common criticism of self-organizing team is we cannot just put 8 random individuals together, tell them to self-organize and expect anything good to result. Well, I don't know if that's true, but when you are putting together a 2-pizza Scrum team, we are definitely not doing so with 8 randomly selected individuals. In fact, those in the organization responsible for initiating a Scrum project should expend a lot of effort in selecting the individuals who will comprise the team. Most teams will realize that what seems like not that much work is actually a lot of work once a sprint starts. Be sure that your team members do not assign themselves more than can be reasonably completed with accuracy during a sprint. If a team member is absent, the team's work would be seriously hindered, especially if that individual was working on something that has other task dependencies. Finally, Scrum teams can make or break your Scrum project. You should choose a team not only for each member's previous successes, but also for the ability of the members to cooperate and communicate with one another.